Hello and welcome to this full tutorial and beginner's guide on Google Photos. So if you're looking to set up Google Photos to back up all of your pictures that you take on your device, or just looking for a tutorial to show you the ins and outs of the interface, this is the video for you. So the first thing that I want to explain is what Google Photos is. It's not just a gallery, as you can see here on my desktop, where I can just browse through all of my photos. It's a cloud backup, an organizer, an editor, and now an AI-powered search engine for your photos and your videos. It's available on both iPhone and Android. Most Androids come pre-installed with Google Photos. For iPhone, you have to go into the App Store and just search for Google Photos. And on desktop, through any browser, you just go to photos.google.com like you see I am here, and you just log in to your Google account. Make sure you're using your main Google account, and that every Google account will include Google Photos. Now, as far as the amount of storage you get with Google Photos, you can go right here to the sidebar when you're on the desktop version of Google Photos. Right here where it says storage, you go to get more storage and it will pop up the different plans. So for me currently, I have the 2 terabyte plan. This is across all of Google's tools. So this will be applicable to Gmail, all the Google suite of docs and spreadsheets and things of that nature, as well as the AI Pro suite as well. So Gemini and things of that nature are included. If you need more storage, you can always upgrade. So I can upgrade to the 5 terabytes and then 10, and then you could even get something all the way up to 30 terabytes. But again, that would be some really intense needs. So for the purposes of this video, I'm going to show you everything that you can get for free. But if you do have a ton of photos and you need to back them up somewhere, Google Photos is a great option for that. So on the main page here on Google Photos, on the desktop, you're just going to see when you go to photos.google.com that you need to log into your Google account. So go ahead and do that now. In the upper right-hand corner, you'll know that you're logged in by just clicking on the profile image and it says manage your Google account. You may not see any photos here yet. So what you need to do is I'm going to hop over to my iPhone. So what I'm going to do is hop over to my iPhone, just go to the App Store, search for Google Photos, and then go ahead and tap open. When you open the app for the first time, it'll ask you to sign in to your Google account. When you do so, you will see your profile image in the upper right-hand corner. Now, when you tap on your image there, it says manage your Google account, and then you're going to see an option that says backup. What this does is when you set up a backup, if I tap into backup here, it will back up my photo library from my phone, from my iPhone. Every time I take a picture, it will upload it to Google Photos instantly, or when it has internet service. So as you can see, my backup is complete. That way, when I get a new phone, I can always have the photos and start fresh with my device. Just make sure that your backup is set to on and that the backup quality is set to either original quality, or if you needed to, if you don't want to use that much space, you can have it kind of compress the quality. But if I go to settings here, I always like to go here under backup quality, tap into that option here, and a storage saver option is available to store more photos and videos, but the quality will be reduced. For me, I like to keep the original quality, but really that's up to you. Again, right here on the mobile device, you can see the option to get more storage or manage storage. When you see that your storage is getting full, you can go to manage, and you can see that my photos are taking up almost 200 gigabytes of storage. And if I wanted to, I could clean up and have some suggestions here from Google if I'm running out of space. So for me, I have about 81% storage free and I'm good to go. But that's where you would do that. Make sure the backup is enabled and ticked over to the right, and now you'll see your photos start backing up. So if I go into my camera like I'm doing here, and I take a photo of my keyboard like I'm doing here, and then I go to Google Photos, I can see that backing up in the upper left-hand corner, and as you can see, it'll have an arrow pointing upward, and then now it turns into a cloud with a check mark. That means that photo has been backed up. So here's a picture of my son. As you can see, this photo has been backed up. So I can delete it from my Apple or iCloud photos if I want to, or on my Android phone, I can delete it from there because it is now backed up from Google Photos. Just remember, if you delete something from your Apple photo library, it will not upload to Google Photos if it hasn't already. So make sure you check that it's been uploaded. Go to your library and say, okay, does my most recent photos show up here? If they have a cloud with a check, you are good to go. So that's everything you need to know about backup and storage. And it's important that there are plans with providers, used to be like T-Mobile, where they would come with unlimited Google Photos. That's not the case. You have to have a plan if you're reaching the cap for storage. Now, as far as organizing our photos, everything's going to be one-to-one on the mobile app and the desktop. So just for the purposes of this video, I'm going to show you primarily on the desktop, but as you can see here with my phone pulled up, all of this here is showing just like it would on the desktop. So what you're going to want to do on the left-hand sidebar here within the desktop version of Google Photos, you're going to see albums. If we click into albums here, you're going to see albums that are curated from Google Photos itself. If you want to create a new album, in the upper right-hand corner, when you click on albums, you go to create album, and then you give the album a name. So whatever you want that album to be, give it a name, and then you can go to either select photos or select an auto-updating album. So this is pretty cool. Let's just say I name this Brandon, which is my son's name. I can select people, and I'll go ahead and figure out if it can find Brandon. He's a baby, so I'm not sure. Oh, here he is. So there is Brandon there. So we'll go ahead and hit confirm in the upper right-hand corner, and then it will begin to auto-populate. There you go. Unfortunately for me, I have triplets, and so Ty and Brandon look almost identical, and so it's pulling up pictures of both of my sons, which is fine. So that's an auto-updating album. The next thing you're going to see is documents. Documents are things that you've taken pictures of, say, credit cards, debit cards, bills, things like that. It will bring those up, and you can see screenshots and recordings as well. And you can see I have a ton of screencasts because I do this tutorial channel. Then you'll have your favorites. So if you have favorite photos, you can favorite them here, and in order to favorite a photo, you would click on it, and then here you would just star that photo. It says added to favorites, and now when I view favorites, that's going to show up underneath my favorites. Next is going to be people and pets. This is pretty cool. Google Photos will automatically populate, look at people's faces, and say, okay, here is my daughter Millie. Any photo, video with her will show up if I click on it, and yes, these are all photos and videos of Millie. Here she is with our two puppies. And if we wanted to, we could go down to places. So any place that we've visited, it will create or curate a album of sorts. And you can see this one here from West Columbia. Here's some pictures from that trip that our family took. Next will be videos. If you want to sort by specific videos, I do a lot of videos. Obviously, having 5 kids, that's something that I want to do and capture is a ton of video. So that's going to show up over here. Under recently added, all photos or videos that have been recently added as far as in the past few weeks will show up here if you want to find something that is recent. And then lastly, you'll see an archive and a locked folder. Archive is just things that you've archived and you hadn't wanted to delete and put in the trash can. And then locked folder is a folder of images that you want to lock behind a passcode. Very simple, very easy to understand. Now, within Photos, in Google Photos, we can go here and select an individual photo and do a number of things. So right here, we can select right or left on the keyboard. We can go left key or right key to scroll between full size images. And then in the upper right hand corner, we have the share button. We click on share, and on the desktop version, we can email and do a number of things here. But if we are on the mobile version, as I will show you here, we can go into a photo, go to share, and then we can select that photo or number of photos and select people to iMessage or email or add it to a note, all directly from within our phone. And that's going to be really directed towards what types of device that you have. The next option is going to be the edit option. If we click on these options here, we'll have a couple of things. We'll have an enhance option underneath our AI suggestions. We'll have the ability to crop. So we can select crop, go in here and add different crops if we're like, okay, we want to crop the image around there. And we could even rotate the image at the bottom here by adding a little bit of a rotation like so, and then go ahead and click save. Any changes that we make will show up next time we are looking or viewing this photo. The next thing I want to show you is right here under the lighting or settings here. You have portrait light, we can blur, and we can add a color focus. The next settings are going to be very in-depth, where you can go and individualize certain color aspects of an image. If you've ever color graded video or photos, this little tab here is going to be something that you really enjoy. So I can go here and increase or decrease the brightness to add a little bit of brightness here. Contrast, I can change with the contrast, and everything that you see here we can play around with. Just remember, if you are doing the storage saver option, when you are editing these photos here in Google Photos, it may not show up or give you the effect you want because it's really compressed those images and videos. Next, we'll see this option here to apply specific filters. So if I wanted to, I could add like this filter or the West filter if that's something that I wanted to do. If you don't like the changes that you've made, you can always click the X or tap the X in the left-hand corner to discard those changes. When you want to get back to your library, you hit the back button or back arrow in the upper left-hand corner. But a couple other things you can do is you can zoom in. So if I can zoom in or zoom out, the eye with a circle around it gives me info, and I can always change info. So here is people. I showed you earlier the photos, and the AI tries to figure out who people are so it can create curated albums and things of that nature. I can go here and hit this pencil icon, and I can actually edit faces and add more faces here to give it a better scope of who this person is. Right here it shows you the albums that it's in, and under details it tells you when the picture was taken, what it was taken on, the type of file format, and then how it was uploaded. So in this case, it was uploaded from my iPhone from an iOS device. It has been backed up with that little cloud and a check through it, and I can add a location by clicking on add location and then start typing the address right here specifically on that photo. Now we're going to go back to our full list of photos here. If you want to select multiple photos on desktop, it's as simple as selecting the little arrow here and then just selecting individualized photos. If you want to delete or move photos in a row, you just select the check and then go to Shift on your keyboard. And as you can see, it will select everything from that first photo until the last one as you're holding down the Shift key. And then if you want to unselect or deselect, you can either just refresh your browser tab like I've done here, or just individually uncheck those photos. In order to delete a photo or photos, you just select it like I just showed you. And then you go in the upper right-hand corner and you'll see a trash can icon. You go to Move to Trash, and then it says Remove from your Google account, devices with backup turned on, and places shared with Google Photos. This is important. When we remove this from our Google Photos, because it is linked up to my device, my iPhone, it will also delete it from there as well. So knowing that's the case and understanding that when you delete it from Google Photos, it does go backwards. But if you delete from like your device, it doesn't delete from Google Photos. That's very important to understand. So we're going to move that to trash here, and that will automatically, so if I select that, it'll remove that photo just like you've seen there. If you want to search for specific photos, you can go to the search bar in the upper right-hand corner, and you can search from a number of things. I can search by faces, so like I can click on a face here like my nephew, Walker, and it will show me all photos that have him in that photo. And I can also go to the search bar here and search for specific keywords or locations. So I can go to, say, the Blue Ridge Mountains here, and I can find all of the photos that were taken in that specific area or around that specific keyword. Another pro tip is under the search here, you can type in the word receipt. So if we type in the word receipt, hit enter, you can see anything that it thinks is a receipt will show up here underneath that search, which is a pretty cool little feature. Now for the power of Google Photos. In the upper right-hand corner, you will see an addition button, create and add photos. If I click that button there, not only can I create new albums or collages, which is a feature I love, I can click into collage here and I can select a number of photos, say from my daughter's birthday, and go to create, and it will begin to automatically create a collage for me that will show up and be saved here in my Google Photos. Again, just a really cool feature of Google Photos. Click the addition symbol once more. You can create highlight videos, you can create animation, and then you can share with people by clicking on share like so, and then you can basically turn on sharing for a specific date or specific photos, and then insert an email address, and that album or group of photos will be shared with that person. Another thing that we can do is we can import photos, we can back up folders automatically, and we can go to Google Drive. If you have photo collections elsewhere, you can go to this addition symbol here, go to the bottom where it says from other places, and you can transfer from photo collections, transfer from photography services, you can digitize physical photos take pictures or screenshots of them with your phone, and it will digitize them and put them in your Google Photos, and we can scan them specifically with our phone if we're using that device. But if we go to transfer from photo collections, you can see anything on my Facebook or iCloud, I can just click on that, and it has an automated service that will do that for me directly within Google Photos. Something that you may have noticed as your photos are uploading is the memories carousel at the very top. As you can see, it shows me this is my daughter Millie on this day. And if I click into it, Google Photos has created this really cool slideshow. And if I go right here, I can see there's a bunch of different photos, and it will automatically show me, like, on this day or around this day, where and how she's grown. If you have kids, this is a beautiful kind of feature of showing you how they've grown. It will make you tear up, but that's something that you may want to take a look at. And that kind of populates over time. So that's the carousel at the very top here. You can hit this right arrow on the carousel to go from new to old, different highlights. On the right-hand side, you may see a calendar or a little scroll bar. As you can see, I can just go and drag upwards to get more recent and drag down to go for older photos. I have some all the way back to 2014 and 2015, and as I let go, it will begin to show me those photos there, and I can just kind of scroll through really quickly from a recent to a very far away photo. And now let's take a look again at the mobile app. We want to confirm that everything's been backed up with the cloud with the check mark through it. I can always just scroll through these photos. I can go into individualized photos by just tapping into the photo like so. And then on mobile, we have the same share, edit, and ask. Something on mobile, and you can do this on desktop too, is you can use Google's AI features with their Gemini tool. The little diamond in the middle where it says ask, I can go to ask and I can say something along the lines of remove background, like so. And then when I ask it to remove the background, it'll begin to replace the background. So as you can see, it will use its Nano Banana, which is the image service that Gemini uses on the back end to make these edits to the photo. As you can see, it removed the background completely. It gave me an option to choose other backgrounds. These are a little wonky because as you can see, her face changed. Like right there, that's not her action. That one right there worked. But I like the one here that doesn't have the background. And I can save that as a new photo or as an edit to the original. So I'll discard those changes. Then I can go to add to, tap into add to. I can add it to an album or a locked folder. And then if I want to delete it, I tap on trash and then confirm I want to delete, and then that will delete that image. If you're wanting to scroll between photos that were taken a long time ago, if you go to the little arrows on the right-hand side, you can begin to drag and it will show you exactly the time frame in which those photos were taken. And that's it, guys. Google Photos is a great tool, not just to keep up with memories, but to back up those memories. So hopefully this showed you how to do that and showed you how to take advantage of all of Google Photos tools. I'll have some frequently asked questions in the pinned comment down below. If this helped, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.